Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be reviewing the Guru Control deck and I'll be showing some replays of me playing the deck, and I'll casually be explaining on how I play this deck and why it's actually so good. Funny enough, I actually went undefeated so far. No one's actually beat me yet, and I played about like 8 to 10 games already. And yeah, like this deck is actually really good and it's really underrated. Even though it's not currently in the meta, I still believe this deck deserves some respect. Honestly, I'll show some replays on how it performs, etc. But overall, this one is just pure Gru. I'm not playing any Numeron or Dragoon. I honestly find them less consistent, and I feel like playing them makes your hands more bricky and you have less interruptions to play with. So let me explain my hand trap choice. Honestly, Dimension Shifter is probably one of the best hand traps currently right now. I usually played the Ash, but like now I don't, and I just play Shifter because it destroys most matchups, especially my locals. They usually play around like Shaddolls and like Cyber Dragons and stuff. That's why I also play main deck Super Poly, and it's very common recent nowadays to like use your Super Poly on most decks because a lot of decks now have the conditioning of making the Mud Dragon, which is basically two monsters with the same attribute but the different type. For example, Mech Knight, you can Super Poly off an Avermax like this, and then a different Mech Knight because they're all psychic. But basically, Super Poly is really overpowered right now, and people aren't utilizing how good this card is. You also play the Draco Stapelia instead of the starting Venom, and so it takes up 3. And basically, I'm playing the extra version, so that's why you see a bunch of copies. Unfortunately, I didn't really trigger off Waking Dragon much because I didn't have any matchups which were really going second. And that's actually a good thing because now I'll be able to showcase you how this deck performs going second because these people had to force me to go second. Without further ado, let's get into the replay. So here's just a rogue deck. It's a very simple matchup. So basically, I just Extrav obviously is goal for my plays. So um, Extrav and Duality actually work together. I know some people have the confusion. Hey, you can't draw after. No, but you can still use Duality because Duality is not considered a draw. So it's more of a search. So here you go, keep going, and yeah, your basic Guru play is getting your Hidden City, and then getting your Guru, setting the Guru, flipping it using Hidden City, and then searching your Fiendus. I already have Fiendus, so I'll just be going for the Trap most likely. Yep. And there's the Trap. The Trap is basically, it has 4 effects, which is crazy, and they're all good. So one makes it go face up, makes it go face down. It can make its combined attack, combined attack and defense equal to its attack and defense. So basically, in this case, at 1600 and 1800, it will be 16 plus 18, so it'll be, I believe, 3400 attack, and it's great because now it became like a huge monster. And when you have Behemoth, it goes even above that. I believe Behemoth will go like 4700, which is crazy. So I did open up the evenly matched. I believe this is game 2. I might have a bit mixed up because I thought he was going to make me go second, but nice. Apparently he didn't. He thought he could break my board. So I'm not going to show this whole replay, but I will show you, hey, these decks cannot handle Guru because most of these decks cannot even play around evenly matched. I'm not evenly matched, they're only one. Like a lot of these decks cannot play against Floodgates, and especially things such as like Crackdown or just being able to boost your attack. They cannot play around it because their monsters are either like not big enough, or you're just taking control of their monsters and they can't play the game. Crackdown is amazing for this deck, and I'll show you why in one of the replays. So actually, I'll explain why it's so great. Is because you can take control of the monster and then you can attack with it when it's face down and you flip back up because it's considered your own monster, which is a very cool mechanic of Yu-Gi-Oh! And with this deck. So FA honestly does not stand a chance. He actually made it really far in this one because this is the first game I had against him, and I didn't realize what this card did. Okay, maybe I should learn to read cards, but that's my fault. But even then, he didn't have a chance. 5 back row with the Hidden City, really. And this is actually a really like thing. So I did steal it, and that's basically my goal. You know, I can't let him attack. So he can only summon one machine anyways, and they're all machines. So here's what I'm going to show you. So I flip it down, and usually you can't attack or do anything with the card. And now watch, I flip back up, and now it's mine. And you can do this with many other cards. So like for example, it could even be like a 3000 beat stick or something. Just take it. As long as it can be targeted, you're fine. You can just put it face down and flip it back up. The only time this won't work is link monsters, obviously, because they can't go with defense. But otherwise, it's a really good like tactic because you can just keep stealing your opponent's monsters. Even if they're a floodgate, just take it for yourself. For example, imagine taking a window from your opponent and then making it your own. It'd be crazy. But yeah, that's the matchup. And then this guy, I had around 5 matches with him. He couldn't win one against me. It was so weird. I don't know why he was just playing Gravekeepers. But this is like the first time I've seen this lock actually. So there's a lock he does, and it's really, really interesting. And this is the reason why I kept it. And this just goes to show, hey, this deck can win without Hidden City. Overall, yeah, so he just strikes my summon, I judgment it, I'm like, yes, I need to win. But actually, he doesn't show the lock in here. But the lock is basically regarding this card and a card in his main deck, which basically says you cannot activate field cards. And this is based around a field spell, right, this deck. And basically, I was not able to activate anything, and I was pretty much screwed. In this case, he's just playing a rogue break a board deck, basically. Honestly, anything that's like really combo oriented does not work against my deck. Like, even if he kaijus it, I don't care. I'll come back next turn even stronger. So here, Junk Speeder is like an automatic just judgment, and you're done. And now we're getting to some serious matches. So let's go to Striker. This is a very long match, actually, the second one. So I'm gonna just hopefully speed through this real quick. Basically, he's gonna dominate in control matchups easily. Always just have the Guru control going and have as many traps and interruptions as possible. Sadly, I drew the Dimension Shifter for my extravagance. Therefore, you can activate it. Pro tip, actually, if you have extravagance and D-Shifter, you can either just put the D-Shifter right away, or you can activate extravagance then do D-Shifter. It's your choice. Well, like, I believe, actually no, you have to do extravagance first. My bad, because you have to do it first thing at the main phase. You can't like do D-Shifter first and then this. So you do this first and then chain G-Shifter, so they're both active. My bad. But, yeah. Over here, he's just gonna try getting rid of my stuff, and I don't think he realizes. Okay, so in my IRL version, I play Mystic Mine. I thought, hey, I'll be smart, just get Mystic Mine, but that didn't work. So in this case, this does flip down, so it didn't take it because it needs to take control of an effect monster, and it's face down, so it doesn't really matter. And yeah, therefore I kept it. So yeah, there's a lot of very technical plays with this deck, and that's one thing like you need to learn when playing this deck. And also, against the Sky Striker matchup, this deck is crazy because one, it's only one monster that you're controlling, and it's always gonna be a 1v1. So in this deck, you always want to have a fair 1v1 chance, and if you have a 1v1 always going on, you will 90% of the times win unless they have like Avermax. Then you're kind of screwed. Actually, funny enough, Guru can actually beat over Avermax because Guru is not a special summoned card. Avermax requires a special summon card to beat it. I mean, to be able to take its attack. And basically, Guru can actually just flip itself, and if you use Final Battle, you can kill the Avermax, actually. So in this, also, this member always use the Final Battle if it's going to end, just get your +1. So in this case, I got my Fiendus, etc. And he's just playing control as he should be, he's not doing anything wrong. But yeah, honestly, with Sky Striker, all I had to do was bait all the interruptions, and then he just realized, hey, I have Fiendus, I could just negate that, and then we're back to him wasting this card again. Because this card targets, and I know which one he's going to go for. And I'm just going to flip that one, and he's not going to get to it, and yeah, basically it. Next one is a bit more intense. Here is a Mystic Mind match. Oh my god. So, if you're playing Guru, do not be afraid. Mystic Mind is your friend. And this matchup was so long and like, it wasn't really intense. It was more like I knew I was gonna win. It's just when is this guy gonna give up? So check this out. I just do my 4, and then he draws the evenly match. So I'm like, come on, man. So I just judgment it, and judgment, honestly, be careful using judgment. It's a very very like risky card. And sadly, that is the only interaction I have. And then after this, I'm like, you know what? I need to just be smart. Let's grab his thing Kagari and chill on it. So he thought he could Mystic Mind me and, stall for time, whatever. But he doesn't realize, like, we're both playing a control deck. This doesn't matter. And I will get rid of it because I ended up siding Mystic Mind out. Because I knew, hey, Sky Striker is one of those decks that plays Mystic Mind. So there you go. I saw my Storm Duster. I set it on. This card is nuts in trap decks. Especially a trap deck like Alter Guys or Trap Trick, because this is a Trap Trick target. So, and then he got another evenly match. I think he's just trying to make sure, hey, my board is bigger. So I'm like, alright, cool, whatever. So you'll see him just keep going, and we're both gaining resources. There's no like disadvantage here. It's pretty even, to be honest. But here you go, finally get Behemoth. But what I'm trying to just do is get my field spell and then go off, because I have my out to this. This doesn't matter. So he had to Widow Anchor back his Kagari. Now he's locked of doing anything. And now he's going to Cyclone my thing. I mean, he's going to Cyclone his own Mystic Mind, my bad. And I'm like, you know what? I like playing the Mystic Mind game. Let's negate that. Because I didn't want him to go off. Like, he could easily have gone off on me right there. And now he has Lightning Storm active. Actually, he does not have Lightning Storm active. So that way, because he has Mystic Mind on field. I just realized that, but yeah, he had a good out. It's just he had a Mystic Mind. So if he did that and then Lightning Storm, I would have been done for. Alright, he just ashes it. He just kept continuing the game, and it was so painful, man. So basically what I'm just trying, I have the out Mystic Mind. I don't care. I will out Mystic Mind. It's just I need my plays going first. I don't care. So now he has evenly matched again, and I was so upset. So basically, I decided, hey, I need the Crackdown. I need the Storm Duster to out this thing. And nothing else matters really, because Crackdown is like a really good card to out Sky Striker. So I ended up dusting that turn, and basically and then I'm like, you know what, let's just go for my draw. And I got the Guru and Hidden City, and then right then I knew, hey, I'm gonna win this game, and he knew that as well. So there you go. And last but not least, so this is more of a bigger board matchup. So this guy was playing Time Thief, and he was able to game 1 he took it, and then game 2 I'll show you. Like, honestly, I don't have any lost replays to show you, like, but I will tell you the weakness of this deck and when I show the deck profile again. Basically, he's just going after his combos. This deck lacks, honestly, Floodgates is one easy way. Well, this deck can actually play through Floodgates, my bad, because they're Machine and Psychic. So maybe he could have made a Dragon like Requiem or something, but I guess he didn't play it. And in this case, he made the Abyss Dweller. Yeah, that's the right move. And this card, I didn't know what the effect was. I should have used the effect, but it's fine. I could have just summoned back the Adjuster from his graveyard. It basically lets me summon any low 4 monster in either player's graveyard, because that's the cost of him being able to special summon itself right away. And then he made Redoer. Redoer is his bread and butter of this deck, and I'm like, you know what, let's just get rid of it. Strike. I strike the summon right away. I'm like, there you go. And he's not going to be able to do anything with Dweller. He doesn't realize, hey, this is a Guru. He probably thought it was maybe like something else. And I get my search as well. A +1, what can I say? This is great. And I think he sort of knew. He was a nice guy though. He played out the game, he didn't like just be like, oh no. So in this case, I just sent it to the deck. I mean, and yeah. Honestly, I have all the time in the world. That's how I play this game. Like, it's fine. Now he was gonna make, I think he's gonna make the Requiem that OTKs. And always remember, get your plus going. don't sleep on your +1 here. And I put that down, and then on my opponent's turn, I activated Behemoth. Behemoth, okay, if you can't find this card and you're trying to make this deck, just ignore the Behemoth. But Behemoth, like Umastrix is really good. Like overall, people underestimate how good this card is. But if you don't have it, maybe just play Cave Clash and then like another Subterror card, and you're fine. I know it's hard to find this card. Like, I honestly had difficulty finding it, but it took me a while. And then Super Poly, honestly, was basically to seal the game. Like, there's nothing happening here. So now I'm going to show you how big Umastric gets. He gets to 4,700 if you use Final Battle on him. It's nuts. And now you'll see me break his board. It's pretty cool. So to break a board with Guru, basically what you need is a bait and a destruction. And in this case, I had my destruction, but I didn't have my bait. Bait could also be the Hidden City, to be honest, because they, like, we all know they want to stop Hidden City. And I'm going to show you some, like, you know, smart plays I choose it here, because you can't really, honestly, Guru can either win you games just by not thinking even, or it has to be like, you know, very thought out. And I'll show you how much I thought about this, because honestly, it's more common sense when you get into competitive scene. But here, this is the board. What this tells me is that he has Gamma in hand for sure. He has the Omni Negate, and then he also has the Escape, Draw, or Descend one of these cards to my deck. So he always gets a trap card. So he always has the effect to, hey, I'm gonna descend something. So yep, he always got a trap card every single time he made this board. So going in my first game, I already knew. I didn't know he's gonna make this board because I thought he was gonna be doing something else. But basically, this is game 3, and I'm like, you know what? He's gonna make the same board again. What else he's gonna do, right? And Lambda is so overpowered, and I've realized this through this match. So this gives me hand information already. Hey, he has Psy-Frame, Gamma. If he has nothing on field, I cannot be activating a monster effect unless I have a negate. Otherwise, I will be losing. So here, that was my bait. I used my destruction. He's gonna banish himself to escape. This card is very annoying if you let it get to you. And yeah, I'm just gonna do my Hitting City combo. This is where he uses Gamma. I'm like, yeah, I have to bait it out somehow. But then again, there you go. In all reality, I could have just left it, to be honest, but it's fine. It's whatever. But if it's a 1v1 fight, he's not winning this. But now he took over my Subterror. I'm in Hidden City, and I'm just sort of like, okay, now I need to play it like safe. So I activate my thing, I get Behemoth, and Umastrix. Basically, my plan was, hey, get Umastrix on my field, and he probably can't even touch me. So now he uses what's it called, his effect to grab a card. This card is actually it's really good. It gives you information about your opponent. So in this case, I believe he's gonna put this to my graveyard. So I'm like, you know what? Activate my strike. He rebooted, and I'm just there like, that's not a good idea, buddy, because their Chameleon 1 destroys your deck, and that's basically all I had to do. So after that, I just set, pass, and I just took his Redoer. I don't think he's got any other play, right? Because I know for sure he has Gamma in hand. I summon my Subterror Archer, and yeah, just go for it. But look, I just want to like explain, hey, I know like these control decks are not usually good going second, but this deck can actually do it if you play it like well. And most of these trap cards I'm using, they're very high impact cards, meaning, hey, like they will disrupt your opponent and they'll make him like think again, like, should I be doing this, should I be doing this? And honestly, it's such a great deck for, especially back when the price used to be so like cheap of these cards. Like this used to be like a $10 card, but I don't know what happened. So I know like I made this deck seem like a god deck, but like I do need to explain, hey, you will get destroyed by going second decks if you are not prepared. That is the reason I run Waking the Dragon and everything. But I know you haven't seen it in there, but this is a must in my opinion. Like, I guess if you don't have the cards, then it's not a must, but otherwise you should run this. For example, Dino matchups, Mech Knight matchups, they all run Lightning Storm. And if you notice, hey, this deck's actually rather budget, other than this card maybe, and the Hidden City obviously. But like, if you had the Hidden City before, you're fine. But now, even now, I believe $15 is still worth it. Just get this card. You don't need this one, it's fine. Crackdown got reprinted. This is in common. This is in common. This is in common. This is a bit priced up now. It's like $3 to $4 Canadian. This has been reprinted. This is a common. This is super, I believe, but they're very cheap. This is one common. And then extra. You don't need to get extra. It's your choice. You can even, like, you don't need. I remember I used to play this deck back in the day. I didn't play extra. I just played 3 duality and called it a day. Super Poly is rather cheap now as well, and then your Super Poly targets are also rather cheap, other than Avermax maybe. Well, he did get a reprint actually, so he might be cheap. And then Falcon, I don't know the price exactly. But overall, very budget deck, and then you also have Evenly Matched, obviously, which is... I needed one board breaker, okay? Like, I didn't want to put Lightning Storm in every single deck profile. But yeah, I just want to conclude. This deck is really good. Maybe try it out if you have the chance, but your only weakness matchup is going second deck that can break boards. But even then, so you can maybe get away with using the Judgment, or you can usually disrupt them with the Dimension Shifter, or even like if you run Mystic Mind, which is something I do recommend if you have it. But in this case, I didn't run Mystic Mind. I still like destroyed going second decks and everything. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a good one, alright? Bye.